White, exploring the great outdoors in Pennsylvania and beyond. Brought to you by the Mariana Outdoorsman Association and by Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Now, the great outdoors with Jason White.
Hello, friends. I'm Jason White. Welcome to the Great Outdoors. I want to give a special thanks today to our sponsors, the Mariana Outdoorsman Association, Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds, and Washington County Tourism and Promotion Agency. Certainly without all three, couldn't make this happen, and I just wanted to say thank you. We're going to start off with some upcoming events for the association. This Saturday, September 30th, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., there's an open house at Wild Acres Farm. So if you're interested in becoming a member of the Mariana Outdoorsman Association, please come check that out. It's a great opportunity to see all of our facilities, what we got going on. And certainly if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit us with them and we'll be happy to answer. Same day, same time period, from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m., we're having a car, truck, and also a bike cruise. So if you have any of the above, please bring them out. Come enjoy the farm atmosphere. It's a different setting, very unique, and I think you'll enjoy yourselves. If you want to come out, it's free of charge. It's free for anybody to attend. We are going to have music. And if you're a vendor, crafter, etc., you want to set up a table or a booth, that's free too. Doing this as a community event for people just to get together, good networking opportunity. So please come check us out. This upcoming Monday, October 2nd, we'll be doing our weekly upland bird stalking. For anybody that is interested again about joining, we do the upland birds every week. That runs from September typically into March. It just totally depends on, our bird availability. So, if you're interested in upland bird hunting and you want to do that, or if you are currently a member, we are stalking weekly. Additionally, if you're not a member and you just want to do like a half-day hunt, we do that as well. You can check us out at Mariana Outdoorsman Association at Facebook. Also, Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds on Facebook. MarianaOutdoors.com is our website, and we are happy to have you. Additionally, which is a big day for us, Friday, October the 6th at 3 p.m., it's going to be our first trout stalking of the season. I'm really excited about this because, I think this is almost like an annual holiday for us, is when we kick off the fall, and everybody just loves to see the wide variety of trout that we put in the water. Browns, brooks, rainbows, tiger trout, and also the golds or palominos, whatever you like to call them. But yeah, anything from 10 to 12 all the way up to I've seen them 34 inches that we put in the water. So if you're wanting to catch some big fish, please come check us out. We will be stalking monthly, starting October the 6th, and that'll go all the way into at least May. We meet at Wild Acres Farm. So if you would like to participate and actually get to see a trout stalking, again, October the 6th, which is next Friday at 3 p.m., and we meet at Wild Acres Farm. That's 1997 Maury Road, Clarksville, PA 15322. Again, that's 1997 Maury, M-O-R-E-Y Road, Clarksville, PA 15322. We'll do our first stalking there, and then we go to our Daniels Run location after the fact, and we'll stalk that as well. Saturday, October the 14th, we have a continental pheasant hunt scheduled. It's almost full, so if you do want to get in on that, please get to us ASAP because we're almost full. Friday, November 3rd will be the second stalking, 3 p.m., same location, same processes and procedures. If you want to check it out, please come see us. Saturday, November the 18th, 9 a.m. until not really sure what time, but we will have two things going on that day. It's our annual members picnic, and additionally, we have a veteran / first responders upland bird hunt. We've done this, I think it's at least 4 years, but this falls underneath of our dog tag program. James Whip Shetler runs that program for us. It's a great opportunity. If you're a veteran or a first responder, come out free of charge. The picnic itself is free of charge. It's something that we just do to try to get everybody together. Yeah, it's in November, but hey, guess what? This is a hunting and fishing club, so that's the time of year that you want to be doing this stuff. So that's what we got going on. We got a lot of other events beyond that, from fish stockings to bird stockings to fishing tournaments that are going to be happening in the spring, long-range rifle classes. So just keep tuned to our Facebook page. Try to keep everything on there. Also, I try to keep everything on the website. But we're going to dive into the discussion of the hawk permit. I know I've talked about this on the show in the past. I started the process to get a federal hawk depredation permit back in January. Literally just got the permit approved this past week. It's been a long journey, almost 10 months, but I kind of wanted to give everybody kind of the feel of what a nightmare that I've dealt with and the issues therein when it comes to identifying what hawks are even out there in our communities, how they're impacting farmers, and where I'm really seeing some concerns with the processes and procedures. But let me back up here. So I had to apply for this permit through the U.S. Fish, Wildlife and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Agency, which is a federal agency under the Department of the Interior. And I really didn't know what I was getting into. It was a lot of just Googling stuff, trying to figure out like what was I doing, how do I go about doing it. Through COVID, they set up this like online electronic application, which in theory is nice, but it had some mechanical glitches, so it wasn't operating properly. So it took me about 90 days just to get the computer, I would say, technical issues resolved just with my account. After that, I got my application submitted, and I come to find out that USDA at the state level had to come out and do basically a site visit, which was good because I was really pleased. They've been nothing but tremendous to work with. I applaud the USDA at the state for being very, I would say, consumer friendly. Took a nice tour of our facility. I want to say we saw 7 hawks that day, just kind of hovering around the farm, which is clearly quite a terrible sign of, what we're dealing with. But, they gave the recommendations to the Pennsylvania Game Commission and also to U.S. Fish and Wildlife. And pretty quickly, the Game Commission got back to us with their approval. But we couldn't do anything until, we had this federal permit. So this just kept going on and on and on. Finally, started, putting the squeaky wheel gets the grease type of an analogy. So I started just doing some things, reaching out to my congressman, Rushenthaler, who's been tremendous during this process. And, this isn't something that's gotten, I would say, a ton of attention in D.C., or even in Harrisburg, but I'm not really a person that enjoys doing things and the old definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Well, I've talked in the past about the fact that small game has declined drastically, squirrels, rabbits. The list goes on and on, but these gateways and segues for the young people to go out and enjoy the outdoors. One of the huge impediments here is that we do not manage the hawk population. So when USDA came out and saw what a problem, they were like, "Wow, we have to work with you, and we're going to do what we can to make this happen." Well, this continues to drag on. Congressman reaches out weekly to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, proceeds to tell them that, I'm in line, and just they haven't gotten to it yet. Well, that's what we heard for a few months. So I go to a Fayette County Farm Bureau event, and somebody within the federal government comes up to me and says, "Jason, U.S. Fish and Wildlife is actually trying to press on us to get your application either drastically reduced or denied. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're telling my congressman that they're not even looking at this thing. So I get this story, I hear this, and this past Monday, I reiterate this story, pass along this information. And clearly, my congressman was not very happy to hear this, that, kind of been misled, misguided, and not necessarily told the truth. I kind of dictated that in an email, passed it along. Literally an hour later, I get a call. Your permit's going to be approved. And I was just like, wow. I would say that somebody within U.S. Fish and Wildlife was either drastically ashamed or flat out just got caught in a lie. The moral of this story is this process is long, it's convoluted, it drug on, and I don't really believe, based upon what I've seen, that there's much of anything factually or conservation-minded from U.S. Fish and Wildlife federally to justify their processes and procedures. And hear me out here. In Pennsylvania right now, we have a spotted lanternfly reporting app that you can get through the state to let the state know, like, hey, I saw spotted lanternflies in specific locations. We do not have that for other species. So when you talk about the damages that I've personally had to deal with when it comes to the hawks, it goes long beyond my issues. It goes to each and every one of you in your own communities, farms, etc. We should be able to share information to the state and to the federal government of what we see and what's going on in our communities. Who better to convey information than the people with the boots on the ground? And that's each and every one of you. The problem is we don't have that. There is no mechanism right now in the state of Pennsylvania for us to share basic information of what we see, whether you're driving down the road, whether you're at your house, whether you do have a farm, maybe you're at the game lands. Maybe you're at the game lands and you see, let's say you just see two hawks hovering overhead. Well, you should be able to share that information. That's good conservation information. You're not, decisions when it comes to conservation should be based upon facts. So if you don't have the facts, it's the old analysis of, or the analogy, I should say, of like a mathematical formula. There was always this saying when I was in school, garbage in is garbage out. If you don't have good data, you can't make good decisions on the back end. And this damage issue just from hawks alone is a monstrous problem. You roll that over into the crop damages that we're hearing about with deer damage. That in its own regard is a massive story. And there's a lot to dissect to the crop damages across Pennsylvania. But as I've said in past shows, and again, comparing it to the hawks, there's no reporting mechanisms to say, oh, I drove down the highway, see 10 deer in a field. Driving down a road, I see 30 deer in a farmer's field. We do not have mechanisms in Pennsylvania to share this information. And without it, there's no good. How can you make good decisions, even if you're the game commission? How are they deciding and truly understanding and evaluating how many deer tags they're going to give for these specific zones? And I can tell you, I'm part of the Wildlife and Fisheries Committee for the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau, and every meeting we have monthly, crop damages get brought up. And I can tell you that, we're going to be working this fall with some policies internally with the Farm Bureau, which are extremely important because these policies are what set us apart in regards to, we have to have policy with Farm Bureau for us to go and advocate or to discuss things with our legislature regarding change. And right now, from a management side of things, we're talking about hawks, we're talking about deer. One of our goals is a reporting mechanism, a way that we as consumers, whether that's looking at things from your community, like I said, whether you're at game lands, no matter where you are, there's a lot of opportunities for us to have a basic app for a cell phone that somebody could share information of what they're seeing, whether that's bobcats, whether that's coyotes, whether that's, I don't know, beavers. We just don't have it right now. And you can't make good decisions when you're arbitrarily allowing bureaucrats to just throw mud against the wall and hope it sticks. And that's our issue right now, is we keep saying that the small game's declining. We keep complaining the fact that the hunters' numbers are declining. Young people aren't enjoying the outdoors as much as they used to, because we're losing part of not only our culture, but it all kind of is intertwined. I understand there's a lot of things societal that impact, whether people get involved in the outdoors or not. But these things, from a biology and from a environmental science side of things, from conservation, we're just not doing what we need to do to address depredation, whether that's aerial predators, ground predators, or even just crop damages caused by deer. Now, the other thing I found out, which I thought was very interesting at this Farm Bureau event, was that in other states, USDA actually has the ability and funding to come in and work with farmers, whether that's to trap predators, whether that's to deter crop damage, whether that's to move animals, whatever it may be. And I thought that was really fascinating, because we do not have that mechanism in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's just not set up in that capacity with USDA, and that's a congressional thing that would need to be amended, but I was unaware of that. I didn't realize that other states, USDA is structured differently, and that's all just legislative things that have to be amended by Congress. But when you start looking at the issues that we're dealing with, it's not just hawks. It's not deer. There's many other animals that are impacting our communities on a daily basis. And I know, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good programs, even for deer, for example. The Red Tag program, DMAP, standard hunting licenses, but they're not working. They're not working. I know recently I attended a conference here locally in Fayette County at a farm, and there was a lot of conversation about crop damage caused by deer. And I just started really looking at it from okay, well, why aren't we selling more deer tags in these areas? If these counties are having extra issues, why aren't we selling more deer tags? And the problem is, systemically, you're tying back with these zones, these hunting zones, these wildlife management units. These wildlife management units are terrible. They need to go away. They need to be dissolved. We need to go back to county-based units. And the reason being is, when you hunt, are you more effective hunting with a sniper rifle or a shotgun? And some of these units span almost 9 counties. That's ridiculous. We should be honed in county by county to make better informed decisions when it comes to conservation. Right now, we don't have that. Right now, we're literally shooting a shotgun at a broad area and hoping that, we're going to make fine-tuned decisions. It's just not going to happen. And with all the complaints and concerns that I've witnessed and personally, and the things that I've heard within Farm Bureau, what we're doing right now from a management perspective of wildlife in Pennsylvania is not working, and it's just completely ineffective. The permitting process alone is convoluted. It's very complicated for people, and they just don't want to jump through all the hoops, because you even have farmers, let's say the Red Tag program. People, to me, when somebody gives a suggestion, it's an opportunity for somebody to soak that up like a sponge and look at it from, how can I take what they're saying and use it constructively? The state gives these red tags, and the state believes that, oh, well, this is, a justified mechanism to address, crop damages. But the problem is, a lot of farmers in the middle of summer are farming. They're dealing with a lot of these things. And yes, the crop damage becomes an issue and becomes discussed, but they don't want to deal with having to. What are you going to do? You go and shoot 2 deer, let's just say 6 o'clock at night, and it's 85 degrees. What are you going to do? Like, you have to process these things extremely quickly because they will spoil. And that's been an issue because if the Game Commission can't get out in a timely manner, you have to, gut the animal basically and prepare it on the spot. But if the Game Commission doesn't get out quickly, you're basically going to end up with spoiled meat anyways. So it's been a concern because people don't want to deal with it. They don't want to. It's been a problem. It's been discussed, but there hasn't been an identified solution to that collective problem because a lot of times in the summer times, a lot of these butcher shops aren't necessarily operating, and they're not as openly abundant and available like it is obviously during deer season. So selling extra tags, deer tags, is a simple solution. Sell more deer tags and allow the hunters to do the management. For me, that seems like a common sense practice. I'm not really sure where we're lacking in that arena. I've heard stories of the forest bottoms being overrun by deer, and it's causing a lot of like the growth of the forest to be poor. I've heard about crop damage for soybeans, crop damage for corn. I could tell you from a personal experience, I had 2 sunflower fields this year. It literally looked like something went through with a razor knife and just whacked them all off. Deer came through a couple nights, totally destroyed them. And could I went and got red tags? Yeah, probably. But for me, again, go back to it's 90 degrees. Don't want to be dealing with, shooting and cleaning and transporting an animal when it's 90 degrees, humid. It's just, I'd rather deal with things personally to try to manage more of my deer population during the actual cold hunting season. I would also say, personally, I kind of have a moral and ethical issue when it comes to shooting these deer in the summer too. Not to say that you shouldn't do it. I'm not going to advocate, one way or the other, but I can just say from my personal view, shooting a deer when, it's nursing an infant, I think is a little tough. That's just my view on things. I mean, when you got Bambi running around and she's, 30 pounds, that's a little steep for me. I just can't do it. But I got 6 doe tags for this hunting season, and I'm going to do what I can in regards to my own conservation efforts to get some of them harvested, knock some numbers down. I have people coming this year that have tags for our zone, and I just feel that you get a lot better response and results during the actual seasons. But we'll see where things kind of go. I'm kind of looking forward to see where these policies head this fall. I know I've talked about in past shows, Sunday hunting. Sunday hunting is going to get brought up here with the Farm Bureau policy. Personally, I'm in favor of it. I don't see an issue with it. I think that it's also another opportunity to get more people in the outdoors. I think it just gives more people the opportunity to fill their tag. So again, it's just an extra opportunity for us to help manage and implement better conservation methods. Every opportunity we can get to get somebody outside, it's a better chance that either they're going to buy a hunting license or fill their tag. So I think it's very important that we implement every last mechanism possible to get our wildlife crop damages in balance, because right now we definitely have tipped the scales to the negative. And then after, hopefully, that passes with the Farm Bureau, hopefully the next year the legislature will take action. It sounds like that is happening. I think that even without the Farm Bureau being totally on board, I think it's still going to happen. That's my opinion. I'm hoping that the Farm Bureau will be 100% supportive. We'll see. Just got to have a good conversation about it and get everybody informed about the good reasons as to why, and we'll just see where it goes. But I can tell you, I'm going to be advocating for Sunday hunting. I see nothing wrong with it. I think it's a good thing. Just the issues that get brought up typically are about trespass. Trespass is just a different part of law. I do believe, and we're actually going to be adding that to policy as well to expand the trespass. How do I want to say this? The severity or the punishment, really to crack down a good bit. So, I'll keep everybody posted. I will keep everybody posted. I want to thank the Fayette County Farm Bureau. That's where I'm a member. Everybody's been nothing but great and open-minded. I think that willingness to have a discussion and a conversation, and that willingness for people to change, I think is important. You can't fix problems if you're unwilling to implement solutions. And just like this Sunday hunting thing, the number of hunters has been declining. Young people getting in the outdoors, crop damages, all these things are headed to the negative. So everything that we can do, whether that's addressing these hunting zones, selling more, allowing people to buy more tags, providing more days that people can hunt, those are solutions. Those are solutions to collective problems. So, I'm really looking forward to see where these conversations go. But just know the Farm Bureau is talking about it. These things are ongoing. These things are on our radar. So whether we're talking about the hawk permits federally, that's going to get that's a big issue for us right now because it's unacceptable. Whether it's the crop damages at the state level, we're all talking about it, and we're hoping to get some solutions implemented to address some of these negative issues. Speaking of negative issues, I've been working for, it's been 4 years on Daniel's Run, doing fish habitat, and amazing, absolutely amazing, the positive impact to the habitat. To see, there's actually a beaver, or beavers, I assume, that have kind of taken up shop, and they're actually starting to dam up these. We have these they're called rock cross veins. So like basically what happens is they it looks like a V is the best way I could describe it. It's definitely not a dam. I mean, a dam's designed to be level all the way across and kind of cascade. This isn't the case. There's we have these like V structures, and they're lower in the center. The max they drop, I think our biggest one, it might drop 2 foot tops. But it's really interesting because to see the improved habitat, beavers, muskrat, mink, the trout as a whole holding over the whole summer. We still have trout in Daniel's Run today that were from back in spring stockings. So that's tremendous. Our goal was always to develop a fishery that could sustain and hold trout 365 days a year. We've achieved that. We're not finished, but how do I want to describe this story? So, when we started doing the Habitat Project, we were told by our county in Washington that we had to do they call it a special permit. It's called a joint application. And, we ended up having to go to Pittsburgh to meet with the DEP. We're told we have to pay, I don't know what it was. It was around $2,000 in fees. Had to have an engineer do all these schematics and drawings, etc. Because, we did a pre-meeting to where we were like, hey, this is our vision. This is our goal. This is what we want to do. It was all about fish habitat. It was all to make the fishery better. And what we fail to realize collectively is when we have better fisheries, the wildlife as a whole is improved. Because, they're all like a lot of mammals, I should say, utilize these streams and waterways for survival. I mean, that's just fact. Whether you, like I said, whether you're talking about beavers, whether you're talking about bald eagles coming down and eating some of our trout, or these blue heron, etc. These are all good things, but there's the but. So I'm going to go down the rabbit hole of the negative, and I just want to share with you the utter nightmare that I've dealt with and that we've dealt with in regards to not only the permit process, but the management and oversight from the agencies. So we had to have this meeting in Pittsburgh. Sorry, we go ahead and submit an application. 6 months, we're told, this could take a year or more to get an application approved. Okay. I didn't personally understand why it was being handled like in such a complicated manner. It just didn't make any sense to me at the time. So anyways, about 6-7 months go by and I get a call from DEP Pittsburgh, and I'll never forget it. A woman calls me and says, hey, we got your application here. We're kind of confused as to why you submitted this. And I'm like, you're confused why I submitted it? I was like, well, you all told us we had to do this. She's like, well, let me call you back. Literally, I don't know, a little time goes by. She calls me back. I think it was that day. And she's like, yeah, we're going to send your check back, and we're going to send this, but this isn't really what you need to be doing. She's like, you need to be doing a general permit number 1. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you... I don't understand. Like, we just wasted 7 months and got absolutely nothing achieved. So, got our money back. Wasted thousands of dollars on engineering fees. Go ahead and redo the permit. Get it submitted again. And this time, gets approved by the Fish Commission, gets approved by the county, gets approved by DEP. We go ahead and do construction. No issues at the time. The following year, we're doing construction, and next thing you know, here comes the county. Hey, we got a complaint that, something about like we didn't have permits or something. I'm like, well, clearly we have permits because, you approve them. So start looking around, and they're like, well, why are you using these like boulders? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's what's in our permit. Well, they've only seen these like coffin-shaped stones. And I'm like, well, first of all, it's not what we're permitted for. Number 2, I don't understand the concern here. Like, effectively, it still does the same thing. So, like, I don't understand why this is even an issue or a concern. And number 3, the cost, for example, we go and buy a tractor trailer load of, or a dump truck load, I guess I should say, a big triaxle load of boulders. I mean, we're talking like 400 to 600 pound stones, roughly 3 foot across is an average size. I mean, it's really hard, because the quarries, when they blast, none of that is exact. It's not like they're running those boulders through a crusher to get them, kind of fine-tuned, like they do with the smaller stones. So anyways, we get these stones, and I would say a load of stones can be anywhere from $600 to $800. Now, this is for a load, like a full truckload. When you go and buy these coffin-shaped stones, $1,500 for one stone. So I ran the numbers after like kind of hearing this conversation. I'm like, holy smokes. Like, it would cost us like $15,000 approximately to build one structure. We've built right now, I want to say it's approximately 12 structures, and it's cost us like $20-some thousand. I mean, truly insane. I was like, why are you telling us that you want us to use these coffin-shaped stones when they're ridiculously expensive? They work no better or no worse than doing it the way that we're doing it, and it's what we're permitted for. So next thing you know, next day, here comes DEP. DEP rolls in with the county, starts looking at these structures. Well, like, why did we put material like packed in behind the stones? I'm like, well, how are you supposed to establish a low point if you don't pack the holes? I'm like, it's basically like water seeps right through these things because, yeah, they're not coffins. They don't lock up like Legos to where like, it's flush. And it's like, it's not what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with, boulder type stone, which is irregular and it leaks like a sieve. So you have to take some material from the stream bed and put it on the upstream side to basically not only lock in the stones, but to lock in those blockade off the holes. So that way all the water goes to the lowest point of the structure and cascades the way that they're designed to. Well, the next thing you know, I get is, well, I've never seen them done this way before. And again, start hearing about these coffins. I'm like, look, I appreciate what you're saying, but like, those are government funded monopoly projects. And when I say monopoly projects, it's almost like monopoly money. Like it's like falling from the sky. Like it's like simple for them to go and spend these ridiculous amounts of money. They don't understand like a fishing club, a hunting club, etc. that goes to do a project doesn't necessarily have $250,000 that they can just blow on these coffins. So anyways, this goes on. I actually had to take a water pump and blow the stones off just to appease the DEP. So that's what we go and do. Had to bring in a water pump, hosing these structures off. I thought it was utterly silly. And I told him, I said, listen, this is like low water right now. Like you're seeing a lot of these structures sticking out of the water. I said, when we get normal flow, they're going to be submerged predominantly, like they're going to be underwater. I said, come back after the middle of November. Do you want to know what they do? They come November the 10th before we really had a really good rain. I said, wait until either we get a hurricane rain or we get one of those torrential fall rains. They come. It was extreme. I'll never forget this. It was like bone dry low at the time. It was funny. They come, tell me they were there. They said, yeah, the water didn't come up. I said, well, I told you don't come until after the middle of November. It was literally a week later. We got one of those torrential fall rains. And from that point on until basically next June, the structures were partially submerged, operated fantastic. But after this, I was like, hey, we need to have a meeting. Like, we need to have a meeting with all the people so we could look at this stuff and have a discussion so there's no concerns moving forward. I said, because clearly there's some like confusion in some capacity that I'm missing here. They come back in January. I'll never forget. It was freezing cold this day. We have this meeting. Walk to every structure. And they're working amazing. Everything looked good. It was operating the way they were supposed to. The water was just, I don't know how to describe it. For the fishermen out there, you know what I'm talking about. Just that dark green look. Just amazing. We get it to the very end. And everybody sees what we're doing and, can obviously attest to why we're doing it. And I'm like, look, these are working the way they're supposed to. Like, this whole conversation or concerns that you had are like really, I don't want to call it a moot point, but they're a moot point. And literally, the Fish Commission, the people that were with the Fish Commission, literally say to my engineer on the side that he doesn't understand why the county and DEP are giving us such a hard time. And I'm just like, I was mind blown because I'm just like, what in the world? How do you guys get so not like off the same page? Like, how are you on like different planets when it comes to a thought of something so conceptually simple to improve habitat, but yet, we keep talking, or you hear on TV about global warming and you hear about all these different things. And here you have people that are trying to do good for the environment. We're trying to do good for conservation. We're trying to better the world. And all we get is difficult times. And you got to ask yourself a question. Do they really care about the environment? Do they really care about making the world a better place? I question it. I really do. Because the people that I see out there working hard and trying to do good for the communities. I feel like in many ways, these bureaucrats basically want to flex their muscles and show that they're the bosses. And, you know, it's very sad, but we are going to keep doing what we do. And what we do is make a better fishery or fisheries. We make better habitat for all wildlife. And that's what we're going to keep doing, despite the the poor guidance of government or the ridiculous, I guess you could say, forgetfulness of government from having a conversation and then coming back and telling you to do something totally different. I mean, it's just, although we're battling those types of situations, you just have to dig deep and find positivity so you can just keep forging ahead. I know it's hard because there's probably a lot of people out there that can relate to what I'm saying, but I'll keep everybody posted because like I said, we have a whole nother year of development, and I'm really looking forward to a finalized product, but not there yet. We are going to get there, but like I said, I will keep everybody posted. I want to end on this. I want to go over these events one more time so everybody can hopefully I'll see at least one of them. But if you want to join the MOA, you can do that today, MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. If you need information, you can also go to our Facebook page, Mariana Outdoorsman Association of Facebook. This upcoming Saturday, the 30th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., it's our open house. We also have a car, truck, and bike cruise, free for everybody to participate and attend. If you want to set up a vendor or crafter booth, that's also free. Monday, October 2nd, upland bird stalking. Friday, October 6th at 3 p.m. That's our first trout stalking in the fall. Really looking forward to that. Saturday, October 14th, it's our continental pheasant hunt. We literally have, I think, 1 or 2 spots available. So if you want to get in on that, I would pick up the phone ASAP. Friday, November 3rd is our second trout stalking of the fall. We'll be doing a lot of tiger trout, actually, at that one. Saturday, November 18th, it's our annual members picnic, and also it's our annual veteran and first responders upland bird hunt. Free for everybody to attend for those purposes. Really looking forward to seeing everybody this fall. It's been a lot of work. We've done a lot of construction this year. I'm really excited for where we're headed as a collective group, and I hope that you'll participate. And if you're not interested in becoming a member, well, hey, if you just want to come out for a day, whether that's to camp, whether that's to fish, whether that's to hunt, you can do that. We have day passes. We offer, 1-day opportunities for people. But, come see us. Come see us. It's like friends. It's like family. Our doors open and welcome for everyone. But again, I cannot stress this enough. Go to MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. Stay tuned, folks. We got a lot of great shows coming up in the future here with our other projects. We're going to be talking about deer hunting coming up at the next show. For all those that know, archery season statewide opens up this Saturday. So if you're an archer, please be safe. Make sure you got those safety harnesses. I highly advise everybody, safety harness, safety harness, safety harness. Please be safe. I wish everybody nothing but the best of luck. Fill your tags. Make some blessed memories with friends and family. And until next week, I'll see you soon.